You know the word that is buzzing the most across the globe today?
AI.
It is AI. But what if I tell you there's a disruption coming? And arguably and powerful than even AI. It will end up being the answer to our human existence. Yes, our very own human existence. It is not simply yet another technology. It is a revolution.
So we missed semiconductor revolution. We missed general software revolution. We missed even AI revolution. But the government doesn't want to miss the quantum revolution. It's not just for jobs and per se, it's for our sovereignty sake.
And why is that so? Let me tell you, as I crusaded over India's biggest quantum summit in the Silicon Valley of India, that is India Bengaluru, meeting the CEO of India's biggest quantum company, the director of National Quantum Mission, Nobel laureates, professors from premium institutes of the country such as IISC Bengaluru, IIT Madras, and much more. This summit featured every major personality in India, including the Honorable Chief Minister and Deputy Chief Minister of Karnataka, Minister of Science and Technology from the Government of Karnataka, the Principal Scientific Advisor to the Government of India, overseas quantum pioneers. You can pretty much see all there is to quantum across Bharat was at one place for a full 2-day international event. The summit is Quantum India Bengaluru 2025. The event took place on July 31st and August 1st, 2025 at Hotel Hilton, Manayata Tech Park, Bengaluru, jointly organized by the Government of Karnataka, India's the most premium institute, IISC's Quantum Technology Initiative, which also featured sponsors like DRDO and India's biggest quantum company, QpiAI, and much more. I'm not gonna lie, I was waiting for this event for months together to witness and be part of, for this was the first chapter of the Quantum Revolution 2.0 in India. Now the event began with the usual inauguration by the Chief Minister, Deputy Chief Minister, Minister of Science and Technology N.S. Bosraju Manere. Then the first talk kick-started by none other than the Nobel laureate, the 2016 Nobel laureate Duncan Haldane, where he started with the elephant in the room. That is, why? Why after 100 years there is hype and push over quantum? Because quantum mechanics got initiated way back in 1925, where Werner Heisenberg, yes, the man behind the famous uncertainty principle, introduced matrix mechanics, which fundamentally redefined how the behavior of atoms and subatomic particles was described, making the start of the modern quantum mechanics. You may be also wondering, why is it that the Government of India launched the National Quantum Mission? Along with the India AI mission, of course, the Government of Karnataka just in this summit launched the Karnataka Quantum Mission and also Q-City, a hub for quantum near Bengaluru. And also the Government of Andhra Pradesh, where they brought in this Quantum Valley initiation in Amravati. Why is it that all of this is happening within in the very last year or so? It is because of the traffic. Yes, traffic, both while I was going for the summit as well as in the summit. On a serious note, now coming back to the why, you will have to watch the vlog further to know the why, and believe me, it's worth it and it's equivalent to a national level security threat. Okay, now coming back to Professor Duncan, as per Professor Duncan, we are in the second quantum revolution, or in other words, Quantum Revolution 2.0, which is about the practical use of quantum mechanics and harnessing it. And the central idea of this is quantum entanglement. Quantum entanglement is a crazy phenomenon, okay, that can get us close to what in sci-fi is called as teleportation. When I met Dr. GBV Reddy Garu, the director of National Quantum Mission, later in the event, Sir put in such simple words. What does this quantum entanglement mean and why it is so fascinating? Okay, let's imagine you have a particle in New Delhi and there's another particle in New York. Any change to the first particle will induce a similar effect to the second particle in New York. So it's that mind blowing. Now coming back to Professor Duncan, he firmly stated that quantum is not limited to just computing or physics as such. It impacts every department there is on this planet, be it communication, materials, sensing, cryptography, photonics, finance, healthcare, security, AI, and of course, computers. You would have heard about quantum computers, right? And the way I see it, even the classical phones today which we use, maybe, okay, just maybe replaced by quantum, and we may be soon calling them as quantum mobiles. And then there was lunch. Yeah, they just kept lunch straight away after the first talk. The best part of the lunch was that it ended. Okay, it was not that horrendous. The desserts were sublime enough. Now, coming back to the event, there were multiple sessions running in parallel, poster presentations, and the most craving part of the event, quantum startup exhibition. About why quantum is important for a country like India and why it's a national level security threat. Here's the answer, and sorry to keep you waiting. And this answer is right from the chairman of National Quantum Mission, Mr. Ajay Chaudhary sir. The first reason he stated was tech sovereignty. Top countries, be it the US, the China, Japan, are switching to quantum computers. These machines, they can easily breach of the classical computers which we are using today, which you may be using to watch this very YouTube video. And as people and as a nation, we can't afford that. Reason number two, strategic autonomy. India will gain autonomy, especially with tariffs like those imposed by the POTUS, the President of the United States of America recently. We must not be dependent on others for such a powerful disruption that is coming right after AI. Amidst all of this, I also met Professor Prabha Mandya ma'am from IIT Madras. Just a week ago, I was studying from her virtually, and here I was clarifying my doubts pertinent to the subject itself, right in front of her. This was truly a surreal experience. Well, this was just day 1, now on to day 2. Day 2 began with the usual traffic, but it was majorly on the street, then in the conference this time, which made me to reach the destination late, but at an epic point of the conference. I was completely at the back witnessing the talk of the day by the 2004 Nobel laureate, Professor David Gross. But this was the part where Professor David Gross pretty much made the whole crowd go in silence, and this made headlines in major newspapers. And in my video pertinent to funding Kaveri Engine, I voiced precisely the same concern.
But as a percentage of the GDP, which has increased much more rapidly, spending remains at the incredibly low level of 0.64%. This is significantly lower than the global average. It lags behind countries like China by a factor of 4, the US by over a factor of 5, by countries like Israel by almost a factor of 10. I cannot understand why this is happening. There are many reforms that have been initiated.
Next up, there was a panel talk on creating a coherent ecosystem of startups for quantum technologies in India, where I interviewed Mr. L. Venkata Subramaniam sir, who is India's IBM quantum leader and quantum head.
These are, somebody has to just think and map it out. We have to take a programmatic approach to solving these things, because we know the requirement, we know there is a talent here which can do certain things. Now, how do you bridge that is the question, because, in the panel there was this point that the Indian market is buying things, but it is buying from abroad right now. And why is that? Because the local producers are not taking that science or invention and putting it in a form where the market can consume, which somebody else is doing.
Request all of you
So
to
we need to
kindly
fix that.
settle down and kindly clear the place.
And the talk I was awaiting for the most was from Professor Urvashi Sinha ma'am from Raman Research Institute. This was my second time witnessing ma'am's work after IISC Technology Dialogue 2025, whose vlog I've also uploaded on this channel, where along with ma'am I had the chance to be the summit ambassador of the event organized by Principal Scientific Advisor, Ministry of External Affairs, Government of India, and of course, India's most premium institute, Indian Institute of Science. And the cherry on top, I met the man behind Chandrayaan 3, Dr. Sridhar Panikkar Somanath sir. Please give it a watch after you watch this one. Now coming back to QIB 2025. Now what if I tell you that even academia is turning into startups? Yes, Professor Ubasi ma'am co-founded a startup called QSyn Technologies. This startup is backed by India's top institutions like Indian Institute of Science and Raman Research Institute. Their mission is simple, that is to turn lab research into market-ready quantum solutions. They have extensively worked and are working in quantum security, which features facets like quantum key distribution, QKD, and random number generation, RNG. Now you will be like, why is this important? Because this is a testament to the dynamic revolutionary shift happening in India's deep tech space, where academia is not just the brain now, but becoming the industry itself. I repeat, the industry itself. But amidst all of these quantum startups, let me elucidate about the sponsor of today's video. And fun fact, even this enterprise was present at QIB 2025 and the quantum company is Quantum Machines. Now about Quantum Machines, they're just a phenomenal company that are tackling one of the biggest bottlenecks holding back quantum computing, something they call unbearable friction. So what is this friction? Well, quantum computers need classical computers to control them, yes, but often the two systems are disjointed and don't speak the same language efficiently. This creates a huge lag, slowing down research, making experiments take forever, and limiting our ability to scale up to more powerful systems. And this is where Quantum Machines comes in with their revolutionary hybrid control approach. They have designed a system that seamlessly harmonizes quantum and classical operations, eliminating that friction. At the heart of this is their unique pulse processing unit, PPU for short, a special processor designed specifically for quantum control that brings classical computing right next to the qubits. And they have built an entire platform around this. On the hardware side, you have their flagship OPX 1000, a modular control system designed for large-scale quantum computers. So from control software and hardware all the way to cryogenic electronics, they provide a complete field-proven toolkit for anyone building a quantum computer. And on the software side, they created QUA, a programming language with a Python-like feel that makes writing complex quantum programs dramatically simpler. They're truly empowering builders to resolve setbacks and bring visionary ideas to life, pushing the boundaries of the new possible. A huge thank you to Quantum Machines for their support and for this collaboration. If you want to dive deeper into how they are accelerating the future of quantum, please check them out at quantummachines.co. I'll also leave a link in the description as well as in the comment box. Please do check out. Now of course, coming back to the event, if all the top quantum startups and quantum companies were present at India's biggest quantum event, how can we not have India's leading, most powerful and largest quantum computing company? That is QpiAI. And guess what? The man who initiated this brainchild was also present, the founder, CEO and chairman of QpiAI, Dr. Nagendra Nagaraj, sir. Just a few months ago, in April, QpiAI just built India's most powerful and largest quantum computer, QpiAI Indus, and QpiAI became India's leading quantum enterprise. To celebrate this, I made a dedicated video about QpiAI Indus and QpiAI. Now in July, as I became part of the first chapter of the Quantum Revolution 2.0 in Namma Bengaluru, I had the opportunity to meet the man himself. As I went on to approach Mr. Nagaraj sir, I wasn't nervous. I was excited to show him the video I had made about QpiAI. The most startling thing I came to know is that he has already watched the video and is aware of Cherry Elucidates, my YouTube venture. He mentioned that it even reached the ranks of the National Quantum Mission. Knowing this didn't just make my day, but gave meaning to the work I am doing and powered my purpose by leaps and bounds. Mr. Nagaraj sir is truly one of the most humble people I have met in my life, and this was an absolute honor of a lifetime. And finally ended with valedictory session featuring N.S. Bosraju Manyare sir, the Honorable Minister of Science and Technology, MC Sudhakar, Honorable Minister of Higher Education, Government of Karnataka, Sri Sadashiv Prabhu B sir, IAS Director of Department of Science and Technology, Professor Arindam Ghosh sir from IISc, awarded in the presence of Nobel laureates Professor Duncan Haldane and Professor David Gross the best poster session as well as the best startup pitch. N.S. Bosraju sir heralded that Quantum India Bengaluru will be an annual event henceforth, and he launched the Rs 1000 crore quantum mission with a vision to transform the state into a $20 billion quantum economy by 2035. It wasn't ambitious enough. As part of this mission, he also announced the establishment of Q City near Bengaluru, where the land has already been allocated, and the place is Hesarghatta, a city with an area size of 6.17 acres. It is a futuristic integrated hub for quantum technology innovation, manufacturing, research, and talent development. If you think this was all Bengaluru was offering to the Indian tech ecosystem in 2025, let me tell you something. It's going to get much bigger than that. Because India's biggest tech summit is coming to bring all the academia, industry, and the government to all there is to tech. Every form of deep tech will be in its peak form, and that is BTS, not Bangtang Sonyodan, but Bengaluru Tech Summit 2025 with the aim of Future Rise Bhavishodaya.
Game-changing experience at Bengaluru Tech Summit 2025, where the future will rise.
Now let me have the opportunity to speak about the man the media won't cover about, Professor Arindam Ghosh sir from IISc, who was the backbone of this entire event, hosted multiple panel sessions and ensured a streamlined flow of the summit. I'm thankful for him to engage with a trivial student like me after the event. Dhanyavada Professor Arindam Ghosh sir. Many would point out that there's need to be actual innovation in order to dominate in the deep tech space out there, be it AI, quantum, biotech, nanotech, semiconductor, so on and so forth. Now, for that to happen, I believe there's need to be a coherent consciousness. For example, here quantum consciousness and forging across the academia. By academia, I refer to the faculty and students, also the industry coming in and the government. Only then whatever has been reaped will be leveraged for the benefit of the state and humanity. That was all about the event. Wait, well, that's one last thing I want to confabulate on. I had the opportunity to interact with Professor David Gross at the very end of the event, and I said something to him about his talk, which I don't want to disclose here, and that is because I would rather put my everything into it to make it into a reality. And that is my commitment to the future of India, that is Bharat. Looking forward for more, for quantum, from India, for the world.
Discover, invent, and make in Bengaluru.
Jai Hind.